or the specific tenders that you have placed today?
After long consultations about the issue under debate, the government of Kenya says that they are willing, or rather we are willing to contract out to Chinese companies in exchange for 6 hydroelectric dams. 2 of them should be in the Konza region, and the rest in areas to be identified by the government of Kenya in already pre-existing states, and should increase the power output to about 2,000 megawatts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Your Excellency, before you respond, we also consulted with our delegation. We agreed that we can give you fully the project. However, we would also like to look into the issues of labor, whereby you take the project, but you give it back to our people for labor, and also you use our Kenyan materials, local materials, to do the project, as well as subcontract to the Kenyan subcontractors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, honorable delegates. Unfortunately, we are not able to build 6 dams, and also we are not able to, we are not thinking it will be possible to subcontract because based on the cost factor, if our companies are going to subcontract the work to other local companies, then they are likely to work at a loss. And we know every company is working for at least a profit. And subcontracting at the same time, we believe, is going to compromise the quality of work that we expect our companies to do. And that we've experienced before. It has happened in other neighboring countries that I can't mention because of diplomatic reasons. We've been blamed for doing shoddy job because of just subcontracting to local companies. I believe if we were to do more than 3 dams, hydroelectric dams for Kenya around Konza and out of Konza, because you've said 6 others, 2 within Konza and the other 4 out of Konza. Again, it will not be cost effective for us. We are again going to run on a loss. We strike a deal with you, and we've discussed and agreed that we construct the 2 dams, but then service it for the next 3 years, free of charge, and train your personnel that are going to run the dams within that period, and we will leave the project after that in hands of expertise from the local community or the Kenyan people. Thank you.
I would like to suggest that because, as my colleague said, we are not the final decision makers in terms of this issue, we would like to take your proposal for further consideration. Thank you very much. I'd like to now hand over to Madam Chairman to
conclude. Thank you very much. Before I adjourn the meeting, I'd like to find out if our Excellencies have any other comments or suggestions.
Just to ride on what my able minister said, that constructing 6 dams, I don't know whether the Kenyan government, you're aware of how massive it is. So unless you want us to construct the dam and do you a shady job, yes, we will do that. But we want to construct to you something that is durable. In other words, we are requesting that we are not tasked to build the 6 dams, but we are allowed to construct the road to Konza City, and we take the toll station payments for 25 years. That will be good on us.
Your proposal is falling short slightly of our expectations, but in future we intend to expand the port of Mombasa. We'll invite you to participate. Also, we invite you to look into other areas like investing in oil. But for the moment, I think we deliberate on this particular issue, and then we'll get back to you. Thank you.
I appreciate the time you've taken just to sit around the table and negotiate on how we're going to strengthen our ties. I hope Kenya and China will enhance the economic ties and any other ties that we're looking for, so that we can have a cordial, long-lasting relationship. We'll break for tea, and then the heads of delegation will come back with the delegation to witness the signing of the agreement. Thank you very much once again.
At this moment, our Vice President is on the way coming to close our negotiation.
And to appreciate that we have come to the end of this very important exercise. And these were the bilateral talks between Kenya and China. And I want you to allow me to thank all of you for your very valuable participation and inputs. And well, I know that honorable ministers from both sides, you have taken your time to come here despite your busy schedules. And the fact that you chose to be part of this exercise, I really appreciate. Well, like I said, I'm really elated that this exercise has been undertaken, and that we are all aware that we need to give a major push to all the sectors, that is the relevant ministries that were well represented here, and the issues that were discussed. And clearly, these bilateral talks that we've held here are a direction towards enhancing the ties we've had over a very long time. So I take this opportunity to thank you again and compliment you for having been associated with this exercise. But the challenge now is to implement what we've agreed upon. I am going to urge all ministries concerned to go an extra mile in implementing what has been agreed, and that interministerial meetings can be held and consultations so that the agreements can be expedited in terms of implementation. Well, I encourage all of you to continue with this spirit of negotiation, which is actually geared towards a true spirit of multilateralism. And ultimately, this will enhance our ties. Well, with those few remarks, our Chinese delegates, and I wish you a safe trip back home, but please take your time to enjoy our hospitality, our natural beauty, and our various tourist attractions. You're most welcome, and feel free to come back to Kenya any other time. Thank you so much.
Let us stand so the Vice President want to leave.
Good evening. Considering the fact that Kenya and China have always enjoyed warm relations for more than 40 years now, I'd like to acknowledge the importance of maintaining and enhancing the existing warm relationship between the two countries for the mutual benefit of our citizens. Desiring to strengthen the ties between our two nations for the improvement of the livelihood of our people and for the sustainable development in Kenya and China, having held a fruitful discussions in areas of mutual benefit to our people, hereby unanimously agree on the following. We had major sector areas where we discussed. One is health sector, and the agreements on this sector were the government of the People's Republic of China agreed to supply quality modern equipment and conventional drugs to the Kenya, provided that Kenya takes care of the transport and logistics. Second agreement was China confirmed that they will offer additional 50 medical scholarships to the Kenyan students to study in China, and also agreed on exchange programs with the Kenyan medical practitioners. On the energy sector, the agreements were China offered to supply equipment and technical support and training in the energy sector. Kenya promised to sort out the pending issues of resettling the local population still occupying the land for titanium extraction in 2 months while following due diligence in human and land rights. In the trade sector, China declined to zero rate Kenya's products. Rather, the Chinese government were ready to reduce tariffs. In the tourism sector, we need to improve tourism through expansion of bilateral flight agreements and review of visa agreements for Chinese nationals visiting in Kenya. In the labor sector, we agree that China promised to assist in controlling the numbers of Chinese laborers seeking employment in Kenya. In the transport sector, Kenya agreed to give China the requested contracts with conditionality of using local Kenyan materials and labor. However, the concern will be further discussed through diplomatic channels. Thank you very much once again.
Now that you signed the bilateral agreements between your two countries, and we know that China's presence in Africa is growing by day. Don't you think the work that you have promised to do in Africa, especially in Kenya, is going to be overwhelming for China as a country?
Thank you so much for the question. I wish to assure Kenya, the government of Kenya and the people of Kenya, that the People's Republic of China is very much capable of fulfilling the commitments that we have undertaken today. We have enough labor force in our country, and the good relationship, as we have mentioned, that has existed between our two countries for more than 40 years. We do believe that with this supportive spirit, we are able to fulfill everything that we have committed ourselves to.
My name is Angok Ashwin. I'm from KTN. There is complaint from Kenyan citizen. They say that when China export things from China, they bring quantity material while they take quality material to Europe. And they bring things which cannot last for long. What's your comment about that? Second question also, within experience of Sika-Sufa Highway, there is also complaint from citizens. They say that most of the Chinese, the work which can be done by Kenyan citizens has been done by Chinese workers. What is your comment about that?
First, there is the question that you raised about, I think the understanding is about the trade imbalance, and actually in our discussion this issue came up again. And one of the things that we can encourage Kenya to probably consider is the encouraging the service sector, because Kenya is very much endowed with tourist resources. We do believe that Kenya can export resources enough, probably even to exceed our export to Kenya through services. So this is something that we have committed ourselves through the bilateral talks, that we are going to encourage the more marketing of tourism services in China, so that probably Kenya can be able to balance on the balance of payment. The other question is about labor that you raised. Right now, according to our knowledge in the office, is that the officials who are working on Thika Road are at professional services, and we do believe that those people are injecting good, important skills to Kenya.
We see that there are so many projects that you have partnered with China, and having the debt crisis that is, all over the countries. Don't you think, how is Kenya planning to finance these projects? Because I do believe that they are not all for free, and is it not going to be a task on the task bearers, or how does Kenya plan to finance the projects that you have agreed to work together with China?
Thank you very much. To respond to that, I would like to assure the Kenyan people that the Chinese government already waived for us a debt we had, and that was given to us in the form of the grant, which was pushed now towards the 5 key flagship areas, especially in infrastructure.